When she was 9 years old, she hit with John McEnroe. And after she hit with John McEnroe, she said to her father, "In my heart, nobody's as good as me. I hit with John, and I think I could volley with John." Her name is Venus Williams, and she is the tennis phenomenon on her way. Her father, Richard, has tabbed her the Cinderella of the ghetto. They join us now up close. Venus to my left, and of course, Richard Williams. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you, folks, for joining us. I pose all of these questions with great respect because if you're around the Williams family for just a few moments, folks, you can not help but feel the fact that there's great love with your daughters. But there are a lot of people who wonder if that is a smothering kind of love. Too much control, too much programming of your daughters. It's not a concern for you?
Not really, because I really feel that what Venus and Serena has is very special, Roy. First, I'd like to thank you for having this family on your show. We'll watch it continuously.
Thank you.
And we learned a lot from your program. You had a program just before we left Compton, California, and there was a book was on Sweet Pea and the Other Playground Legends. And we took that book and things and been able to help so many people across America with it. No, we don't smother Venus and Serena. What we do is protect them, because if you don't protect your kids in tennis, the endorsement companies, the management companies, they would have swept those kids right from under your hands and gone.
Let me talk to you about what protection is and what isolation is. You're a young girl, you're just 14 years old. By the way, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
You have a situation where you're out of school now. Your dad took you out of school. In fact, you moved something like 7 times. At 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you get up and you take French lessons at 5:30 before you hit. Everything is set in its way. You don't have a lot of friends. You've said it publicly. We don't have a lot of friends because, quote, friends can sometimes not be loyal. They take too much of our time. Is that normal, Venus?
Well, for us, it's normal. My family, Serena and I, because we were always close. And I always took care of Serena when I was 3 and 2. I remember even pushing her and feeding her when I was about 3. I guess we all been close, and we never let anyone come between us. So,
but don't you need interaction as a human being, as a young person? Don't you need nurturing of friendships?
We have one friend. Her name is Angela Carter. And she hits with us and practices with us, but that's our only friend.
Listen to an interview that you did for Outside the Lines a couple of years back for ESPN. This is Richard Williams a while back talking about when he knew, in some people's mind, he had would strike it rich. They had kind of gold mine in tennis. This is Richard Williams a couple years ago on Outside the Lines.
In 1978, I planned their career before they were born. And I thought that I could make $1 million.
Well, how did you think about that before they were even born?
I seen a girl win a tennis tournament, and she made more in that tournament than what I made in a year.
That's amazing. You think these kids will make $1 million?
There's no question about it. They make $1 million look small.
A lot of people view that as gauche. It's not necessary for you to make those kinds of comments. It didn't sit well for people to hear that. You sorry you said that?
No, I think more parents should step up and admit the truth. When I first started, it was like I was going to make $1 million through my kids.
And that was wrong?
And yes, it was wrong. It was very wrong. But what stopped me from learning to do that, when you go to the junior tournaments and you see the juniors getting beat up by their parents, juniors that was afraid to walk on the tennis court with Venus and Serena because they was going to lose, and 10 times afraid to walk off because the parents was going to beat them, I found that the decision I had made was the wrong one. When you see that the management companies, the endorsement companies, the clothing companies are just pulling at your daughter and trying to make her the next superstar. And the only reason they wanted to be a superstar because it's more money for them.
But the critics say, and I want your answer on this, Venus, that your dad is trying to protect you too much. You've been held out at national junior tennis tournaments for 3 years. You don't even know how to lose. And it's important to learn how to lose. And that so much of this protection is bad for you, not just as an athlete, but as a person.
My dad doesn't protect me as much as it seems to be everywhere on TV, because we want to be different from everyone else on the tour. And I think by playing tournaments we'll be different, but I could play tournaments in a year or so. As a family, we make a lot of decisions on our own. We don't really consider what the people outside our family make decisions for us, because we make decisions for ourselves.
Let's take a look at some footage of Venus hitting the ball, and she crushes the ball. There's no question about it. There are a lot of people who suggest that Reebok is in on this whole deal, that you're wearing these shirts because they're paying you big bucks. Is that true, first of all?
That's a great question, Roy. No, this is a letter here, and it's from Polk County Sheriff Department. And what we went to Reebok and asked Reebok to do, would they donate $5,000 because Polk County Sheriff Department had been teaching a DARE program, and they didn't have the money to give to the kids. Reebok stepped up and gave the $5,000 so that the kids and the Sheriff Department wouldn't have a ride.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with you benefiting from Reebok. I mean, it's a free country, but a lot of people have a problem with it for a minor to be involved in a major deal. You're saying there's no money going to you from Reebok at all?
None at all. That's the only thing that Reebok did.
Before we go to the break, an important question has to do with the USTA.
Yeah.
Are they doing enough for inner city kids in tennis? Have they helped benefit Venus and Serena in their careers?
No, the USTA have never done anything to help Venus or Serena. And I doubt very seriously if the USTA is doing anything to help any African-American kids. We are now investigating that, and we was at UCLA this morning to try to find out more about what they're doing.
Let me ask you one other question, and then we're going to bring on Serena in just a moment. Zina Garretson did not get an endorsement deal until she was a Wimbledon finalist. This is a sport that, let me put it to you nicely, is uncomfortable with African-American kids.
Well, I'm not actually quite sure about it because I haven't been actually on the professional tour right now, but...
Have you felt bias even as a young kid? Have you felt the specter of racism even as a young kid, Venus?
In tennis? I think so at some of the junior tournaments, but people haven't directly put it on the spot on me, so I haven't actually felt it.
We'll return in just a few moments, and we thank Richard Williams now with the younger set, the 12-year-old Serena Williams, and she is, they say, some say, even better than Venus. This is the dynasty ahead for the Williams family. Venus and Serena join us after this.
Guests of Up Close stay at the Beverly Prescott, LA's premier boutique hotel. Call your travel agent to make reservations at the Beverly Prescott Hotel.
Most luxury cars are assembled with spot welds. But for the J30, Infiniti adopted a process called weld bonding that bonds entire seams. Over time, flex and stress can cause looseness and rattles. But when the entire seam is sealed, body flex is reduced for a strong, quiet body that lasts longer. Visit your Infiniti showroom.
Now, for a limited time, lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles with no down payment.
My ultimate ESPN Sports Center highlight would go something like this. I'm on third, and on the first pitch, I go. I'm stealing home. Everyone's going crazy. My manager, the fans, Dan Patrick. But I'm stealing home. I'm in there. I'm home. And somewhere in Philly, my grandma has one of her spells. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
Venus isn't even a pro yet, and Serena waits in the wings. She's just 12 years old. Team Williams. That's Serena, of course, and we met Venus Williams a few moments ago. Serena now joins us in the studio with her big sister. Are you two the closest sisters you could be?
We are best friends.
A lot of love.
And more.
Yeah. Do you feel, though, when you hear, as I did just a few moments ago, asking your dad about too much pressure, too much control over your big sister, and even you, that's an unfair criticism?
Well, I wouldn't agree with that because there's not too much control at all, you know. He would never do that.
Mm-hmm. How about, though, in coming up with careers before you were even born? As I said before, I think, he had, before you even came out of the womb, he had a career for you in archaeology, and I forget what your career was. That people, you got to be able to make your own decisions in your life.
Well, my career was a veterinarian, and, you know, I like dogs.
But before you were born now, right?
Yes, but I had a lot of dogs, and, you know, I like them a lot, and if something happened to me, I would be a veterinarian. Yeah.
What did you girls think about when Jennifer Capriati was arrested on drug charges? How did it make you feel, sort of on the horizon for a young tennis career? Venus, you first.
It made me really reconsider turning professional at 14 or turning too early even at 15, because it's like a sign for me to see what could happen to me if I turn professional too early.
Mm-hmm. You're wary of it, what's ahead, aren't you?
I think I am.
Mm-hmm. So when do you think it would be appropriate for you girls to turn professional? 16, 18, what?
I think 16 or 17, 18 too, because I'll be more prepared mentally and physically, and I'll be more developed, and I'll be in more sound of mind. And also, I think that would be a very good decision for me.
Serena, you, like your sister, had to endure great scares playing tennis in Compton, drive-by shootings. Literally, there were times when your sister and you would duck from bullets.
Yeah.
Are you glad to be away from Compton, or is it still a source of your heart and your pride in that community?
Well, I would say, I don't know. It's strange because I missed a lot, you know, when I left, but I think it's still a source of my heart, you know. It's not like I belong there. It's just, it's where I came from. It's where I'm from.
Who saved the day in the middle of that drive-by shooting?
Well, actually,
Crips and the Bloods are closing in, and, you know, or something to that effect.
Yes, I guess they got it together for them not to come drive-by shooting while we were hitting, so it didn't ever happen again.
Last question, and it's about dreams. You said you have no heroes, really. Not Chris, not Martina. You'd like to adapt everybody's game.
Yes.
But what are your dreams? What's your ultimate dream in this sport and out? Venus, you first.
My ultimate dream in this sport is to win Wimbledon. I always liked Wimbledon. And my ultimate dream out of the sport, one of them is to be happy, because I don't want to be worried about someone stealing my money or things like that the people who have money have to worry about. And the other one is to, you know, in archaeology, I would like to find dinosaur bones, or I'd like to go figure out Easter Island.
That's something.
Yes.
How about for you, Serena?
Well, my goal is to win the US Open, and one day I would like to win that, and after that, probably win the Grand Slam, but mostly the US Open, and after I play tennis, I would like to be a veterinarian.
How about staring across court from this gal over here? Who would win right now?
Well, it would be tough to say. I can't really say.
Well, we'll see in a few years.
Yeah.
Take your time. Enjoy yourselves. I know you do. I know you have a wonderful life and a wonderful family. Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and Richard Williams, we also thank for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.